We see it pretty much everywhere, don't we? Self-care. It's
Mm.
sort of touted as the ultimate answer for stress, for mental well-being.
Absolutely.
Our social media feeds are just, well, they're overflowing with these really serene images, bubble baths, elaborate journaling setups.
Perfect mindfulness retreats.
Exactly. It's become this shining ideal.
Yeah.
But what if, and this is the interesting part, what if this whole concept of perfect self-care, the way it's presented, is actually, adding to our stress
Okay.
instead of relieving it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is how self-care started. It wasn't always like this. Back in the 60s, it was more of a radical act, political resistance, community care.
Right,
And it's just completely transformed since then.
right.
From, like you said, this collective empowering thing, it's morphed into this, well, multi-billion-dollar industry.
Wow. Billion.
Oh, yeah. Often marketing, consumption is the main solution. That whole shift from, let's say, rebellion to commodity, it's made us overlook some genuinely negative aspects.
Like a what?
Yeah, how it's presented as this cure-all. So yeah, today our mission in this deep dive is to kind of peel back those layers,
Mm-hmm.
explore how self-care can maybe unexpectedly become this source of pressure and guilt, even toxic perfectionism.
That pressure. You really feel it when you scroll through Instagram, right? It's hard to miss those self-care influencers. They're showing off these, I don't know, pristine skincare routines, totally flawless yoga poses, and home spas that honestly look like five-star resorts.
Right.
And it's just so easy to look at that and think, okay, if my self-care doesn't look exactly like that,
And I'm failing.
yeah, if I'm not doing that, then I'm just not doing enough. And I mean, for a lot of people, that feeling, that inadequacy, it becomes this huge burden. What's the psychological impact of chasing that perfect picture?
Well, it definitely creates a significant psychological burden, absolutely. You start striving, maybe unconsciously, for this perfect self-care ritual.
Right.
Which, ironically, just adds to the stress you were trying to get rid of in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It often ties into what psychologists call maladaptive perfectionism,
Okay.
where even things that are meant for your well-being, like self-care, they just become another way to measure yourself,
Mm-hmm.
another way to fail.
So, like, if you miss a day,
Exactly. If you
Like-
can't do the whole routine, maybe you skip a step, or you don't do it with the quote-unquote right intention.
right, right.
Suddenly you feel this wave of guilt. It's intense. So instead of feeling recharged, genuinely rested,
You feel worse.
you're just adding more pressure
Yeah.
to an already probably overwhelmed mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that ultimately stops any real kind of recharge from happening.
Yeah.
It can even push you into something like self-care burnout,
Burnout from self-care. Wow.
where the pursuit itself just becomes exhausting.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, and I've definitely thought about this. Could those times we set aside, for me time or self-care, could they actually be a kind of sophisticated procrastination?
Interesting way to put it.
Like we're told, take a day off, recharge. But what if that time off is really just us, maybe cleverly, avoiding the deeper stuff, the harder problems? It might feel a lot easier, to have that bubble bath or binge watch a show.
Then sit with difficult feelings.
Exactly. Or confront issues in a relationship or deal with that pile of stress from work.
This raises an important question. And the short answer is yes, absolutely. Self-care can become a form of avoidance.
Okay.
You might be hiding behind that me time mask, like you said, to put off the tough stuff.
Yeah.
Psychologically, well, it's a coping mechanism, but it's a temporary one.
Right. It doesn't solve anything.
It doesn't.
Oh,
You're not actually
yeah.
dealing with the things that, truly need your attention. And that delay, it prevents actual healing because those underlying problems, they just stick around.
Still there when the bathwater gets cold.
Exactly. They often intensify in the background. So you're kind of hoping this superficial act will just poof, make them disappear. But they don't. So what started as maybe a helpful break turns into just postponing the crucial work.
And speaking of things that maybe don't disappear, there's the whole consumerist side of self-care. It feels like every single day there's some new product promising, I don't know, transformation or alignment or
Ultimate Zen.
yeah, ultimate zen, whether it's the latest guided meditation app or a fancy 10-step skincare system.
Or those really expensive artisanal candles.
Oh, don't get me started on the candles. They cost a fortune. And the thing is, these items, they often just don't get to the root cause of why we're struggling mentally. It's a whole economy built around this, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And it's kind of staggering how quickly companies have jumped on this. The self-care market globally, it's projected to be well over $450 billion.
450 billion.
Yeah, it's huge. They've really successfully created this environment where, buying the perfect product is sold as a solution, the key to feeling better. And the underlying message, it's often subtle, but it's there. You're not complete, or maybe you're not truly practicing self-care unless you have this specific thing.
Right. You need this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that cultivates this relentless cycle, doesn't it? Buying to feel better, rather than making real, sustainable changes in your life. It kind of diverts our attention from the internal work.
To just buying more stuff.
To external purchases, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really worth asking yourself, thinking about your own self-care habits. Do you ever feel that pull, that urge to buy something new to fix how you feel?
That's a good question for everyone listening. Okay, let's delve into maybe one of the darker aspects woven into this. Toxic positivity.
Oh, yes. That's a big one.
We're just constantly bombarded with this pressure, aren't we? Stay positive, vibrate higher, even when you're facing immense hardship or, legitimate struggle. But what happens when you are genuinely going through a really rough patch, like dealing with grief or losing your job, and all the advice you get is just platitudes? Everything happens for a reason, or just think positive thoughts. It feels incredibly isolating.
It completely invalidates how you actually feel. It really does. When you're faced with that kind of toxic positivity, you can start to believe, oh, I shouldn't feel bad, or I shouldn't be upset.
Right, I'm doing self-care wrong.
Exactly. I'm not practicing self-care correctly if I have these negative emotions. And the societal pressure, it can subtly sort of coerce people into suppressing what they truly feel.
Which can't be good.
No. Ironically, it can lead to more anxiety, more depression, more self-doubt, because it teaches us that certain emotions are, bad or unproductive, when in reality, all our emotions, they serve a purpose. They need to be felt, processed.
So it's like a trap.
A dangerous trap,
Yeah.
yeah. Where you feel like you have to perform happiness even when you're really hurting inside.
Okay, so if we're trying to be realistic here, how do we pivot? How do we find a healthier, more balanced approach to self-care? Because it really sounds like the path we've been discussing, well, it isn't quite serving us. It has to start, I guess, by letting go of that whole idea of perfection, moving beyond the Instagram look, or trying to rigidly follow someone else's perfect routine.
Exactly right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, real self-care is fundamentally about listening. Listening to what you as an individual truly need in that specific moment.
Not what Instagram says you need.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It means letting go of all those external pressures, all the shoulds. And maybe, maybe that just means taking an unplanned nap because you're genuinely exhausted.
Simple as that.
Could be. Or perhaps it's allowing yourself to actually feel your emotions, all of them, without judging them or trying to positive vibe them away instantly.
Okay.
Or maybe, and this is a tough one sometimes, it's setting clear, healthy boundaries with other people. That might feel uncomfortable at first,
Definitely.
but they are profoundly necessary for your well-being in the long run. So genuine self-care, it's really about balance, not perfection. And often the stuff that's most effective, the most profoundly helpful self-care, it might not look pretty.
Not Instagrammable.
Not at all shareable online. But it works. It works for you.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now and thinking about your own journey with self-care? I think the core takeaway from our deep dive today is that self-care should be about progress, not some impossible perfection.
Well said.
It's really about genuinely caring for your mind, your body, without all that external pressure. You don't have to follow a specific idealized method someone else dreamed up. You don't need to be perfect at it. You just need to be maybe present and honest with yourself about what you need.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The next time you feel that weight, that pressure of perfect self-care bearing down on you, try to remember this. True self-care means embracing your imperfections,
Okay.
understanding your own unique personal needs, and just granting yourself the space you need, space to breathe, space to just be. It really is about liberating yourself from those external standards, focusing on what genuinely makes you feel better, authentically.
That makes a lot of sense.
So maybe consider this. What's one small, imperfect act of self-care you can do for yourself today? Something that doesn't cost any money, something that definitely isn't for social media, and just serves your true needs right here in this moment.